Welcome to the life of being disabled. No one gives a shit about you or how you feel because you're not normal and you don't fit in, and people will take advantage of you anywhere that they can. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm here with Miss Leilani. Come here. Come in. Come here. She's been just kind of hanging out with me today, so she'll probably be somewhere down here. But today we are going to talk about how I got fired for being disabled. Yeah, it happens. It happens a lot more than you think, actually. I feel like that's one thing that's very overlooked in the disabled community is the accessibility when it comes to jobs and job security as well. So I guess we'll just kind of jump right into it. I started working at this job in early April, I'd say. And I worked there for a total of 3 weeks, which is not very long, which is unfortunate, you know. It was a dog training facility, so it was a board and train facility. It was owned privately, and basically the way it was set up was the owner's house was on the property, and then the dog training facility was also on the property. The property was multiple acres, and then they had different yards and stuff for the dogs. I was originally hired. I didn't put in an application. They actually reached out to me. So I do train dogs privately. I had a few clients where I would do 1-hour sessions with them once a week for a couple months, you know. And I guess one of their trainers saw the dog and it was one of my friend's dogs. And they were like, "Oh, your dog is so well behaved. Who trained it?" And you're like, and they basically just kind of told them about me. They're like, "Yeah, she has a service dog. She vlogs with it and stuff like that. And she also does obedience training and reactivity training." And they were like, "Oh, could I get her contact information? I work with a dog training facility and we're looking for new hires." So I told them that they could give them my number. So then I was put in contact with their manager shortly after. If you hear munching in the background, it's Leilani eating. So basically I was put in touch with their manager, and their manager was like, "Hey, so tell me a little bit about the training that you do." And I was like, "Well, I have a cardiac alert service dog," and I referred them to my YouTube channel and my TikTok. I was like, I owner trained her completely by myself. She does psychiatric, medical alert, cardiac, and guide tasks. So she's kind of a all-around girly, you know. So I can train a little bit of everything. I can do scent work, I can do psychiatric tasks, I can train guide work and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, and I just kind of specialize in like advanced obedience right now and excitement reactivity cases. And they're like, "Oh, that's great." And she was like, "Would you be interested in a job interview with us? We're looking for new employees and this and that." And I was like, "Yeah, I would love to work with the facility, you know." And I was trying to get out of the job that I was currently in, only because I felt like I was overworked and underpaid. I really wasn't making a lot. So I decided to go work at this company. The interview went great, and I told her during the interview, because I brought Jasmine with me to the interview. I told her during the interview, I was like, "Look, I have a form of dysautonomia called POTS, and it affects my heart." And she goes, "Oh, I know what it is. My sister has it. She has fainting episodes like once or twice a week." And I was like, "Oh, mine only happen like once a week or so, but I do get really bad pre-syncope episodes frequently, you know." And she's like, "Yeah, that's totally fine, you know, I know how it is." And I was like, "So, I'm going to need multiple breaks throughout the day where I could just sit down if I'm not feeling well, and Jasmine's going to have to accompany me, you know, she's not going to be all up on me, she'll be put in a downstate in the corner so I could properly do my job, but she's going to have to be there with me. And she agreed. She's like, yeah, that's completely fine, you know. She was super understanding about it, so I thought it was fine. And so I was hired. I started the following Monday, and I brought Jasmine the first day. I brought Jasmine every day, actually. And upon starting, there was 12 other trainers that I was working alongside. They're all females, and all female staff, which is beautiful because I have PTSD from abuse. So that was very relieving because I wasn't triggered nearly as often. But all the girls, I was like, hey, just so you know, I have a heart condition called POTS. It's not really a heart condition, it's dysautonomia, but it does heavily affect my heart. And I'm prone to passing out or having episodes where I'm close to passing out and I can't stand and I'm throwing up. And they were all super understanding, and they were like, okay, so what can we do? And I just kind of told them that there's nothing you can really do, but I'm going to need breaks every now and then. Like, I explained the accommodations I was going to need, and everyone was super understanding. My manager also, I hadn't met the owners at this time because they were out of town, and my manager relayed the information about my condition and the accommodations to the owners, and they were both fine with it, you know, because they were reasonable accommodations. I wasn't asking for too much. I was like, look, the breaks, I'm sitting down for 20-30 minutes, you don't have to pay me for that, you know, that could be off the clock, stuff like that. And first couple weeks were going great. Part of my job description was taking pictures of the puppies and the dogs and stuff. So I would record training sessions and submit them to the dogs' owners so they could see the progress, as well as taking pictures of the little puppies and stuff for the social media pages and for advertisement and stuff. And I also had to take training notes on the training that I did for the other trainers, so they knew what happened, what I did, what we need to work on with the dogs, stuff like that. So I was on my phone. I don't want to say like a lot, but I was on and off my phone taking pictures and stuff like that, and then also submitting them to the group chats. I was in group chats and a Google document to share the training notes, stuff like that. So flash forward to the day that I was fired. I was flaring. It wasn't awful, but I was flaring. It was 95 degrees outside, and I would stand outside for an hour or two at a time. I was working a 10-hour shift. I would also like to mention the fact that I was hired as a subcontractor, so they 1099'd me. And like, I was perfectly fine with that, you know, that made sense for tax reasons. But they also made me sign a non-compete, which signing a non-compete is invalid in the state of Florida because I'm a minor, and it wouldn't make sense to sign a non-compete as a subcontractor anyways, but I did it because I saw my future at that facility because they do work with service dogs. So I was flaring that day. I went in and I was like, hey guys, just so you know, I'm flaring really bad. And I don't feel good. I'm gonna need a lot of sit down breaks. So like, yeah, that's completely fine. Thank you so much for coming in. So everybody was made aware. We had walkie-talkies that we would radio over. So like, reactive dogs didn't cross each other or anything, you know, like when we were moving dogs to different yards and stuff, it was for safety reasons mainly. Or if there was a dog fight, we could radio for more help, or just, you know, updates or questions or anything. So I'm doing my tasks. I was working in the puppy building for that day. So I was doing my tasks. The puppies were down for a nap. I had an hour and 30 minutes to do 8 tasks. I had 4 of the tasks done in 20 minutes, and I was not feeling good. I was working outside for hours in 90, 95 degree heat. Jasmine was starting to get a little bit overheated, even though she was in the shade. And I was very tachycardic. My heart rate was 160, 170s, even with my medication. I was throwing up. I basically, like your heat stroke symptoms, but it was because I was tachycardic. And I radioed over the walkie and I said, hey guys, I'm not feeling good. I'm super tachycardic and I just threw up because I threw up in the yard. I was like, I'm going inside. I have to sit down. And everyone was like, yeah, perfectly fine. Let us know if you need anything, you know? And so I took Jasmine and I went inside. I sat down and she was doing deep pressure therapy, and then I made her get up because I was still very hot. And so I was laying on my back with my legs up to try and steady my heart rate. And the owner, Rick, and then the owner walked in. And he said, hey, just so you know, you still have a lot of tasks over at the puppy building that need to get done. And I said, yes, I know, I'm very tachycardic right now, and I threw up, and I'm having a little episode, so I'm gonna need a couple minutes, but I'll be right over there when I can. And he just kind of like blew me off. I was like, okay, whatever, and walked out. I figured he was in a bad mood because he was described as temperamental. So I figured he was just kind of in a mood, you know? So I decided to try and power through it. I got up and I went back to do the rest of my tasks. I would also like to note, when Jasmine was there, she was working, but I wasn't working her, if that makes sense. I wasn't training her. I wasn't doing training sessions or anything. She just kind of shadowed me and followed me around. For safety reasons, of course. And everybody knew that. I wouldn't engage with her. I wouldn't really talk to her or anything. The only time I would talk to her, engage her, or treat her is when she came over for a check-in or to alert. That being said, so I got up and went back to the puppy building to do the rest of my tasks. And I got another one done, and I was still in a cardiac event, and I threw up again. I threw up and I was dizzy, and I was still in a cardiac event. I say went over to the puppy building, but really I was just in the area around it doing tasks because they're outside tasks. So then I went back inside, and I had to sit down again. Jasmine was constantly alerting. I had red marks and eventually got bruises on my leg from where she was alerting. She was alerting so much. I mean, she even pulled out her bark alert, and her bark alert is only for like 170 and above for my heart rate, or if I'm really, really not listening, or if it's like urgent, you know? So she used her bark alert, and I was like, all right, like I'm in a cardiac event, and I'm trying to push myself because I love my job and I love what I do, but I just, at this point, I need to prioritize my health. So I went and I sat back down and I radioed as I was walking. I was like, guys, I tried to complete the rest of my tasks. I'm still in a cardiac event. I need to sit down. I'm going to pass out. I already know I'm going to pass out. And, so everyone was like, yeah, we'll come over as soon as we're done. We're putting the dogs up right now. We'll come over, bring you water and stuff, you know, and just sit with you. And, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm sitting down now. And then the owner walked back in a few minutes later, and he goes, you're not feeling well, huh? And I said, no, I'm still tachycardic. I'm still in a cardiac event. I tried to complete my tasks, but I couldn't. And he said, all right, well, I'm not going to pay people who can't work. So call your ride to go home, and I will clear your schedule for the rest of the week. And just gave me like a really nasty look and walked out. And I was confused, right? I was in a pre-syncope episode, and I was already like I was already a little bit confused and had some brain fog. So it was hard to understand what anyone was saying, much less what he said. And so I thought that he thought that I was sick and that I couldn't work or whatever, but I wasn't. I just was in a cardiac event. So I passed out, It was only for about 20 or 30 seconds because I did take my meds that day. I called my mom to pick me up. I went home. I fell asleep, you know. The next day I wake up and I'm kicked out from the group chats. And so I text my manager. I'm like, hey, I was going to submit a lot of the photos from yesterday. I had about 50 photos to submit, which really means I took like 150 photos of the dogs and stuff. I just had to filter through the good ones, you know? So I was like, hey, I have some more photos to submit, but I realized that I'm not in the WhatsApp groups any longer. What's up with this, you know? And I said, if this is about yesterday, I was severely tachycardic. You could see Jasmine alert on the cameras, you know? I wasn't feeling good. And then she was basically like, it's not about you not feeling good. It's about the fact that you're working your dog more than you work hours, and you're here to train our dogs, and you're on your phone way too much, and this and that. And basically just gave me a lot of runaround reasons. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, you could check the cameras. If I'm on my phone, I'm taking pictures or taking training notes of the dogs. I trained 6 or 7 dogs that day for 30-minute sessions, you know? And I just, on top of taking care of puppies, which I have to feed them, nap them, then I have to take them outside for a few hours, let them play, run around. Then I have to clean up the yard. I have to pick up the poop. I have to odoban the yard. I have to prepare their meals. Like, there was a lot that went into the job, you know? I felt like I wasn't just a trainer. I was doing everything and I was overworked. I also didn't make a lot of money at this facility. I made just barely above minimum wage, but it was a career. It's the career that I wanted to take my life in. So I was like, you know, I'll get raises and stuff. I'll work my way up, but at least I'm working at a professional dog training facility now, you know? I was just kind of happy to be there, especially at 17 years old. I told her, I was like, I was on my phone because I'm supposed to take pictures and videos and training notes and stuff. Like, what do you mean? And I was like, and you guys know that I have to work my dog. I don't do training sessions with her. She sits there in the corner until she has to either check in or alert. And then I reward her, put her back in the corner, and do what I have to do, whether it's continuing my job or sitting down. And she just gave me a bunch of runaround reasons, and she's like, okay, so we have a check here for you for 3 hours, because it was a Monday that it happened. She goes, we have a check for you here for 3 hours. You can come pick it up whenever you'd like. And I was like, what do you mean? I was on the clock for 7 hours. And I didn't work the full 7 hours, right? I have a 30-minute break there that was paid for. It's on the clock. And other than that, I think I sat down for like a total of 30 minutes between the 15 to 20 getting up and then another 10 or so. And then he made me clock out, right? So, I was just confused, and she's like, well, you were on your phone and this and that. And I was like, I was on my phone for work. That's what I'm supposed to do. I didn't even submit them, so I wasn't on my phone that long. I was going to submit them after work. Anyways, it was this whole thing. So I told them to mail me the check. They said that they would. It's been 3 weeks. I still have not gotten the check. So I've texted her to see what's up with that, and I've gotten no response. So yeah, I genuinely believe her responses were excuses, and I'm going based off of what the owner said when he said, I'm not going to pay people who can't work. Clock out and go home. It was very disheartening, you know. I felt like, I don't know, I was just questioning if it was me, you know, like, did I do something wrong? Like, is it really that bad? Like, what did I do? I was so confused, you know. It was upsetting. And the whole time, like, all the girls, all the trainers there were very nice about my POTS, but I feel like the management and the owners, once I was signed on, they were rude about it, and they were very, I don't know how to explain it. Also, in her reason for termination, she stated that they had been giving me multiple warnings and this and that, but no one ever came to me to talk to me about anything like that. No one ever came to me and was like, hey, I think you're taking too many pictures. We need more of this, you know? I never got any of that at all, so it's kind of hard to know if I'm doing something wrong if I'm not told, you know? So that was pretty frustrating, but welcome to the life of being disabled. No one gives a shit about you or how you feel because you're not normal and you don't fit in. And people will take advantage of you anywhere that they can. So, I'm working at a new dog training facility. I broke the contract for non-compete. I'm competing with them. I'm working at a competitor's. But that contract is invalid because I'm a minor. I much prefer this place. I got a $5 pay increase from the old facility to the new one. Just to start, you know, I've been working at this place for 3 weeks now. I'm not disclosing either company. I don't feel like getting into a legal battle with them right now. I've considered suing them, but I feel like I don't have enough evidence to prove that it was discrimination, you know, and wrongful termination. And I don't want to spend thousands of dollars in legal fees on a gamble right now, you know. I'm gonna move on with my life. I found a better facility that's more accommodating. Literally just the other day I had to sit down because I was in a tachycardic event, and 3 other trainers sat down with me so I wouldn't feel left out and I wouldn't feel bad about having to sit down. So it really just kind of tells you the different environment that I'm working in now. I'm working in a place that has, it's an actual facility, like it's a corporation. They have 5 different locations. They do not kind of skimp out on paying you, you know. It's way more professional, way more organized, and honestly, I love it there, and I'm not in the heat all the time. There's handlers that take care of the dogs for me. My sole job is training. I'm not overworked like at the last place where I had to juggle 6 different things and then was micromanaged all the time, you know? I work with probably 11 to 12 dogs in an 8-hour shift, but I'm able to spend more one-on-one time with them because I don't have to sit there and worry about, oh, did this dog go out? Did these dogs go back up? Like, it's my sole job is dog training. So, I'm very happy. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any other experiences like this with discrimination at the workplace due to your disability, comment them down below. I would love to hear your stories. You're welcome to share them here. Bye, guys!